is November 19th, 2021. I'm Gene.
And I'm Zane.
And welcome to Hanging with Uncle.
How's it going, man?
Good, man. It's been another real busy week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been kind of like a crazy week.
You know, it really has. There's been good, bad, ugly. That's for sure. We have the gamut, man.
Oh, absolutely. And, man, I want to go right into the strain and get right into our conversation because we have a lot today. This is the Gorilla Butter. This is at 26%, courtesy of Cureleaf.
Very tasty.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's the Outrage brand. So they're real nice. I like their bud. Yes. It's real good. Man, it's colorful.
Well, I would like to start by making a correction from last week.
Okay.
My dumbass Kevin Go was my dumbass, and I mistakenly said he was the defense attorney for the Kyle Rittenhouse.
Right.
But that was for the Ahmaud Arbery case. That was the other white racist dude that shot an unarmed black man.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a different case. Different trial,
case.
But that's still going on right now, right?
It is still going on. As a matter of fact, the judge reprimanded defense attorney during closing arguments.
Oh, shit.
Because Jesse Jackson was sitting in the courtroom and he asked for him to be removed. Because he didn't want him to feel like they were trying to influence the jury.
Okay, that makes sense. So, I mean, yeah, you gotta follow, the judge's ruling,
But the judge, that's what the judge said. This is a public court. He's a private citizen. If he wants to be here, I'm not going to tell him he has to leave. Okay. That's his right under the Constitution. That's a public place.
Absolutely, yeah, you're right.
So, he's still a dumbass. But it's the Ahmaud Arbery case in Georgia.
Apology accepted for your correction, sir. Apology accepted.
Thank you.
Yeah, these cases, honestly, have been pretty crazy, huh?
I can't believe Kyle Rittenhouse walked.
Can't believe, but also can believe. We do say the power of white privilege. Self-defense is a tricky situation. I mean, my closing mentality of this is that I really hope this doesn't boil down to a right or wrong case. You know what I mean? Like, haha, I was right and you were wrong. Suck it. It's a bigger conversation than just that. Like, you're not a part of the conversation if that's where your mindset is.
You're absolutely correct, man.
I'm not sour because, I wouldn't say, do I think he should have been convicted? He should have gotten something. But completely walking, sure. That's great. But we really need to put out a message to those that are encouraged by this message that vigilante justice isn't something to go seek, or something to go do. Like, make sure you understand that this was a self-defense case. And that's how they treated it.
This was the precedent set by George Zimmerman when he shot Trayvon Martin over some Skittles.
Like, it blows my mind to see so many people online that are talking about, I told you so. Like, it's scary, man. It's scary.
It's a good thing I wasn't on that jury because I think differently than most people.
You are a cop, yes, ex-cop.
And I have questions. Again, how can you claim self-defense when you cross state lines with a weapon that you didn't think you could legally get, so I had somebody else get it for you?
And how can it not already be premeditated when he knew that he couldn't carry a pistol, so he chose to bring a rifle instead? Like, again, it is what it is. The judge did tip the scales of justice, of course, heavy on the defense favor. The prosecution, I laugh at.
I give the prosecution a little bit of a pass because the way the judge did him, I felt like, the judge broke his hands and then told him to step in the ring with Canelo Alvarez. He set him up for failure. You can't call the dead people victims.
I can agree to that, I guess, but like, I don't know. I've talked about on our show before that I'm not for the video games promote violence argument. We both play video games. You and I both aren't violent people. We don't seek violence. I actually don't. I'm more of a pacifist, I guess. I don't want to be around violence. I can defend myself. I understand that, but I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want that to be in my life. Go do that somewhere else.
Absolutely.
So, like, I don't know. It's just, man. It blows my mind. You need some more weed? Here you go. Like, it just needs, I think further now, there needs to be more education. I've always pushed for more education on weaponry, on the usage of it, more education for our cops, more education for people who are gun owners, who have licenses, who maybe should go through trainings more often. I don't know how gun licenses are, but again, like, it's just, there needs to be some education for this, some reform somewhere behind this. And yes, again,
that's just the thing. You don't need a license to own a gun. It's a Second Amendment right. To me, the conversation should be the Second Amendment gives you the right to have a weapon in your home for self-defense to protect your castle.
In your home.
But there's nothing in the Second Amendment that gives you the right to conceal carry or carry anything.
So it's like, again, I don't know, man. There's a lot to take away from this. There's a bigger conversation. Like, again, you and I we're deep diving into it already. There's more and more layers that you can pull apart from this and actually talk about. But all said and done, the "I told you so" mentality coming from these trials, it's gotta go, man. Like, it's so toxic. Like, we've talked about that. Like, like, this side's correct and that side is wrong mentality. So toxic, super toxic. Like,
very,
man. It branches people away from conversation. It takes away the progressive mindset from, we always talk about the team mentality. It really, like, it's another team mentality situation. My team, this team, the defense team won. I was correct. You guys lost. Ha!
I think more importantly, the way they look at it, their white privilege team won.
Whichever the case may be, it just...
That was the defense that held up. That was the defense that held up for George Zimmerman. And it's the defense that held up for Kyle Rittenhouse.
If you were to put me on the stand right there in front of everybody and have that same situation, how would that turn out?
We already know.
I already know. I don't even know, man. Yeah, let's just move on. Okay. Hold on. I want to talk about, go ahead. We talked about the trials. Go ahead. I'm going to hit this. I'm stressed. Go.
Well, on a more positive note, and again, on our weekly marijuana segment, I like how these just fall into our lap.
I like those segments. Those are nice.
Yes. Republican Representative Grace from South Carolina introduced the State's Reform Act.
Yes.
And this is a very big deal. Number one, it takes marijuana off Schedule 1.
Perfect.
But the big conversation, again, the whole states' rights issue.
Yes.
Look at how many states have legalized it, either for recreational, medicinal.
Far. Right.
Let the states govern it themselves. Take it off Schedule 1 and allow this, if you...
The states to monetize it their own way.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Like, it's good. Like, I like that move. Like, hopefully the bill gets some traction. I hear that, some Republicans favor it, some Democrats favor it. So, hopefully it helps because money goes towards a lot of things that I think we need reform in, like our public defense, police. 50% of the tax is going to go towards that. 3% tax, cheap, is going to go towards that. But that's a lot of money. It's a lot of revenue. This is cash crop. I keep saying it, cash crop. We learned it in school. You know what it means.
It will do nothing but grow the GDP.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I like the move. I like the idea. Hopefully it keeps moving forward. Yes. It's got some good traction. There are some people who are against it. Apparently her own state is against it. Like they put a notice out that money making through illicit drugs and blah 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 is we're gonna keep sticking to our roots and keep our fight against drugs and blah blah blah. Blow me. This is what people want.
But you're still making money off cigarettes and alcohol.
70% of America right now, as of the last poll that I've read, agrees. 70%.
Yeah.
Now, if we were playing RuneScape, if anybody knows what that is, that would pass. They do voting on their own game to pass new things. If it's 70% overall, they pass it. And, hey, I'm about that. 70% is a good majority. Absolutely. That's a huge majority. It's not 55-45. It's not like that. That's huge. 30%. That's a small. We're 30% through this jar of weed right now. There's some big old nugs in there too.
There are.
Man.
But so, and I hope that gains some traction. You know, that's an issue I think that gets some bipartisan support. And again, it will really boost small businesses.
Hopefully it'll wake up Idaho and the other 3 states that don't have any legalization right now. I think Kansas is the other, or one other, but...
Indiana.
Yeah, hopefully they open their eyes, man, because they're behind.
They're missing out on revenue.
Yeah, they're behind big time.
Very much so.
Big time.
But I tell you something else that happened very big this morning.
Yeah.
That happened in the House of Representatives. I know this wasn't on our list, but
sure.
The second half of Biden's agenda passed through the House.
Oh, good.
So
okay.
they're part of the reconciliation, where, of course, no Republicans are going to support it. But
of course,
it will do things like introduce paid family leave.
Nice. Okay.
Build all electric cars for the entire federal work fleet. Build more electric charging stations instead of gas stations across the country to help with the electric vehicles. I mean, there's so many positive things in here. I forget them off the top of my head, but now it'll go to the Senate, and hopefully Manchin and Sinema won't torpedo this thing and do something for the people. And
we've seen it before,
man.
But Gene, I want to ask you a question now.
Yes.
Now, the day before, Mr. Biden expanded on oil refining in Mexico. Now, Zane's mind finds that kind of counterintuitive to trying to go green or go into a safer direction in our environment. So, now Zane's take is if you want more oil, you know what I mean, and we need more oil, or we're on this oil shortage, or whichever the case may be, like, sure, but it doesn't seem like we need it. I haven't seen anybody say we're on an oil shortage. I haven't heard anything about an oil shortage. Now, he was talking about going into a healthier, greener direction. I feel like that's kind of against that. Now, I don't know. It kind of passed the torch to you. Like, I feel like it's just kind of counter. Like,
it is.
He's talking both ends.
It does sound like he's talking out both sides of his mouth, and I understand that. Mm-hmm. And to play devil's advocate, I mean, just to make sense of it,
right?
Not everything can run on electric or solar. Our national defense depends on
of course,
on oil. So if we can get another source of oil to run our tanks and jets and planes and things like that, and not have to rely on OPEC so much, which is why our gas prices are as high as they are.
Right.
That would be a good thing, and it would help Mexico because their economy is in the toilet.
Right. And yes, help our neighbors, which we're always for.
Create jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. But
now, at the same time, it goes against lessening green energy. Yeah.
Right. So we want
emissions.
Right. Absolutely. Like, cheaper gas means more gas consumed, which means more gas emitted, which means more fossil fuels, which is, I still feel like it's counterproductive. But again, time will tell. Now, is it cool to open up a project, start something, and then, now we're doing green, so no. I don't know. Maybe we're going to find major hubs of oil and then kind of limit from there and then cancel others so we're not refining as much, so we don't have much gas going on. I don't know. It's just, mentally, Zane just feels like it's very contradictory, to do both of these moves.
Yeah.
But it is more energy overall for us in the future, which I do see. There's more oil energy coming in, and there's more electric energy. I do see the stock. I like the stockpile and more electric. I love that. More charging stations. Let's get it. I'm all about that. It's just try not to contradict yourself, man.
I think if they really want to help Mexico and the planet at the same time, we can build those wind farms off the coast that do nothing to generate power.
Absolutely.
The only people against that here are Republicans and Joe Manchin.
And it sounds like we're being very critical of both, which is very fair. We need to wake up and be on a smarter path and a healthier path, a more progressive path, is just how you and I put it.
Exactly.
So we both. I do see the positive, but I see the negatives, and I'm not a big fan of the negatives. I mean, the positive, sure, yeah. I guess it's cool to have more of a military, more of what we need, and like less cheaper gas prices. I'll take that. Again, cool. Like I've been able to afford gas, but
yeah.
like,
and I'm retired. I don't drive as much, so I honestly fill up about once a month since I drive a hybrid.
It's just you're lucky you have a hybrid. I think I like your hybrid. It's really nice. I've driven it. It's a beautiful car.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really is. But I don't know. I had to. We do say we're critical of both ends, and we want to continue to be that way. I do feel like it's still contradictory, and wake up and like you need to wake up a little bit. Like
absolutely. We just have to make the investment in it.
Absolutely.
But I want to get into that. I think is really important is I had an epiphany on these school board issues that are going on across the country.
Oh no, is there more anal sex in books? Oh no, anal sex.
So, you see these parents and these groups and entities going down to the school boards, angry like a mob, carrying their torches and pitchforks and trying to take control of the school board over this thing called critical race theory. Okay, so number one, again, on your school boards,
right?
Critical race theory does not exist. We don't teach it.
I've never heard it before until the last few months.
So it's a thing that's come up, created by the right, and they're pushing this idea that your kids are being taught critical race theory because if they're white, they're supposed to be taught to feel bad about themselves for what happened with slavery.
Really?
That's the stupidest stuff I've ever heard, man.
So are they going to stop talking about Robert E. Lee then?
Again, you talk about the hypocrisy.
Right? Yeah, hold on a second. So they're butthurt about their statues getting pulled down, but they don't want us talking about the bad stuff that the statues did.
We have to keep those monuments up of those white people that owned slaves because that makes us feel good about ourselves.
Newsflash: Teddy Roosevelt didn't really slay a bear or anything like that. Just let you guys know. I don't know, man. It's just
right. But here's the thing. I think there's a movement going on. This is a national movement. That's why it's going on all across the country in these school boards.
People need to understand reality, man.
But here's the thing. If they can get in the school boards and change the curriculum to where history is not taught, where we're not taught about slavery or all the blood that's on the hands of this country.
That's just whitewashing the truth.
That's what Hitler did with the youth of Germany, where the kids that wore the brown shirts. That's what they're trying to do now. That's what they're doing in our school boards.
Yeah, China's doing the same thing. You can't talk negatively about China. You can't talk negatively about our dictator.
I think we need to wake up. This is not something that we need to play matador defense on. We need to step up, attend these school board meetings, and fight just as hard.
The Free Hong Kong hashtag is getting closer to home right now.
It really is, man.
That's kind of insane.
We are so close to not living in a democracy right now, and school boards are just a part of it. Because if they can get in on the ground level of politics and teach this nonsense like the Holocaust didn't exist.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're trying to whitewash our children and build a bigger fascism regime than Hitler was able to build.
That's so fucking crazy to think.
I mean, tell me where I'm wrong.
I don't see it. Slavery is a part of history. It's honestly, I say it's a part of my history in a way. And I am a product of what has been abolished. I am half black, half white. I'm allowed to walk in this country because of the history that has happened. I was historically, my ancestors were brought here up against their will, but also I'm here because of it, and I'm thankful. Yeah, because I would much rather be here than anywhere else.
Don't tell me to go home when you're the one that brought me here.
What the fuck, man? That's literally it. I'm kind of, it confuses me. Like I said, I go back to the statues. Yes, those people represented negative things, right? And people want that taken away. You are butthurt about that. But you are also butthurt about the negative things that were taught about those people. It blows my mind.
Without a doubt, so.
I don't know, man. It's just, Is cancel culture going too far? Is that what that is?
This is cancel culture. This is canceling our history so they can further spread lies and misinformation.
Right. No, I am for talking about certain things on a free, like, Facebook and social media and all that nonsense. They're allowed to suppress what they do. Like, especially when it's factual, which is what they base their shit off of, and all the nonsense, right? But, like, I don't know, man. It's taking away so much.
I just think this is an issue that we need to not sidestep and just say, oh, it's just a school board and avoid the conflict.
I want my son or daughter to be educated on
this is where we stand up right here.
I want them to understand that this is how we started becoming a country. This is where we started. This
exactly
is from point A to point B.
And the reason we teach history is not so you should be ashamed of
we
yourself,
don't repeat it.
But we learn and don't repeat the same mistakes that we made. My goodness!
I've always talked about learning from failure, right? Learn from failure. Don't be afraid of failure, right? That is a failure moment in America's history, and we have learned from it. Why are we taking it away? Taking that education away? Like, the more you know, the smarter you are in the future, Gene.
I totally agree, man. I mean, look, we had slavery in this country until the President 16, who ended slavery with Amendment 13.
I can't imagine someone saying slavery didn't exist to my face, man. Like, what?
Or that slavery was legal and we need to give reparations to the slave owners.
Oh, we've already talked. Oh, don't get.
Wow.
We talked about that already,
right?
Though. Man,
that's so just that never gets old.
I know it doesn't. Like it. History is history. It's meant to be taught to educate our youth, so we don't repeat it in the future. So when I'm dead, they understand what I've been through, what our ancestors have been through, and yada yada. Like, what are we gonna teach them about? Pop culture and shit? Like, celebrities. Oh, this person did this. No.
If we're going to thrive as a society, we have to educate our youth on the truth. We can't manipulate them because we're only setting our posterity up for failure.
This one's frustrating me again, Gene. Ooh, wow.
Anyway,
let's get on to another lighter topic.
NBA.
Yeah. Basketball. I love basketball. You love basketball. We have played the sport. Your Lakers are not looking too hot right now, man.
Well, we are. I wasn't too high on them when the season started.
Okay, so we're putting it on stamp now. If we haven't already on the show, Gene did not have high hopes for this lineup, even though he is a Lakers fan. I didn't have high hopes for this lineup, even though I'm not a Lakers fan. Like, I understand. We understand how these players work as a unit and what they bring to the table. We've seen them do it throughout history. They are literally first ballot Hall of Famers. 6 of them on the roster. And you can't... You're even right now when one of them is absent? One is absent. Out of the 6 Hall of Famers, one is absent. And you can't win more than half your games. Now, you've won... No, you're 8-8. Right? And again, that's half. But I'm discrediting 2 wins. Because 2 wins are against the 1-14 Rockets.
Yeah.
Who are a young team who are struggling with winning right now and closing out games. As soon as they hit the third quarter, they tank. They're the Suns as they were prior.
The Lakers team right now is the answer to the age-old question, well, what if you just had a superstar basketball team? They would never lose. The Lakers are 8-8.
We're hypercritical of Russell Westbrook. Like, we're super critical about how Anthony Davis plays big man ball. Like, we talk about how I've always said that LeBron needs a supporter to win. And we've always said, like, last year I said it's just an Anthony Davis team. It's just Anthony Davis playing. And it's just a LeBron team when LeBron James is playing. Now, you literally have all these Hall of Famers who have that same attribute underneath the resume.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
It's just a Carmelo Anthony team. It's just a Russell Westbrook team. It's just a Dwight Howard team, which is the only, well, besides LeBron James, is the only team that's won a championship.
Rondo.
Oh, yeah, Rondo. Sorry. Don't want to discredit Rondo, but Rondo also didn't need superstars to do it. He started the trend.
He was on the, he ran the show. He was the floor general.
He was the floor general.
So why isn't he starting now?
But he needed who? Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen to do it. He started the trend that they're trying to do now, and he can't do it. And he's the starter of it, like you said. So now, if he's the trendsetter, why is he not starting and bringing Westbrook off the bench? Why is Melo not closing? Why do we know that they can do this? Because they're Hall of Famers. There's literally tape on all these players. I can tell my girlfriend, hey, go watch 10-minute highlight videos of all 6 of these players and tell me how they play basketball and see how you can play them as a team, because I've been educating her on basketball as of recently, and I bet you she could do better.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, man.
I don't understand.
Lakers are old. They need to go young. This is not going to be a good season.
Is LeBron James going to save this team?
No.
7th is best. I'm calling it. 7th in the
if they even make the playoffs.
If they make the playoffs, 7th is the best they'll go. The Suns are hot right now.
Yeah.
10 in a row. I'm loving it. Devin Booker hit a dagger 3 last game. It was a sidestep. Just boom.
He's on fire.
Game, man. Ayton starting to play. Kaminsky stepping up, but he's out tonight. They play the Mavericks tonight. Doncic is out tonight, though, so there's going to be a lot of discredit, though. They can only beat broken teams. So they have Kristaps Porzingis. Get off me. He already had a 30-point game. So
yeah. I think the key to the Suns is going to be their bench. I love the way Cam Johnson is playing.
Me too, and the other supporters are doing well, too. Campaign is playing well. Like I said, Kaminsky's stepping up when Ayton was out. Now Ayton's in, so he's going to be a part of rotation. JaVale McGee has stepped up big time. Shumpert, too.
Yeah.
So we have shooters, we have players. We're getting it. Let's get our 11th tonight. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Well, I'm ready to jump into Dumbass of the Week.
All right, man. Let's get it.
So mine is this guy named Kirk Hartle. Mm-hmm. He's a rich dude, lives in Nevada.
Gotcha.
Okay. And his dead wife voted in 2020. Mm-hmm. She got a ballot in the mail, and she died in 2017. Mm-hmm. And oh my God, how did this happen? This is proof of fraud. Well, long story short, Kirk Hartle was convicted this week of voter fraud because he was the one who voted for Donald Trump in his dead wife's name.
Whoa.
And got caught. So, Kirk Hartle, you're a dumbass. You're a lying dumbass.
Well, mine goes along the lines of, it's kind of a pop culture-y, kind of gamer kind of thing, but kind of a lawsuit is going to happen in the community here. There's a streaming service that we use called OBS. Right now, right? We are recording on it as right now. There's a company called, I think it's Streamlabs, who released a thing that put the OBS name next to it, first of all, without their permission. And also copied another streaming services platform called Lightstream. Visually, word for word, even the reviews, I'll even show you a little snippet of the picture right here. That's it down there.
That's called plagiarism.
It literally, we learned it in school. I tried to avoid it because I didn't want to get arrested. So, Streamlabs, you're my dumbass of the week. Good job.
Right.
Way to go. You got to fix it quick, because there are already streamers that use it that are threatening to get off their platform. So
you can't do that.
You done fucked up,
right?
Aaron.
Right. Well, don't forget to check us out on our new website at www.hangingwithuncle.com.
Yep. Follow us on our socials: Twitter, Spotify,
LinkedIn.
YouTube, LinkedIn. I'm Zane.
I'm Gene.
It's been Hanging with Uncle.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Holla.